I want you to look around you, and I want you to be honest when I tell you this, and be honest in your own mind. Does your phone know more about you than your father ever did? Does it know more about you than your mother did, or your closest friends do? More than anybody in your life? And instead of this being a question, it's more of a reality, because likely the answer is yes, which should instantly strike fear into your mind, or at least some sort of question. It's weird how your phone knows exactly when you wake up and what you search for when you're alone, what you search for when you're bored, and what you laugh at and what you cry at. And it knows everything about you. It knows your weaknesses, it knows your strengths, and it feeds those weaknesses back to you, and it nullifies your strengths. I don't know if that's a word. Anyway, you think that you are scrolling for some sort of entertainment, or that you're bored, so you pick up TikTok, you pick up Instagram. Instead, you're actually not. You're being raised. Your phone is physically raising you. It's conditioning you. Every single swipe and every single like and every single notification is just another lesson that is parenting you into the man that you, or the woman that you're going to become when you grow up. And if you don't see that, now that I've fucking revealed it to you, it wasn't a big surprise, you are already so behind, and this video is directly for you if you don't see what I just told you. If you do see it, this video is still for you, because at least you'll get some value from it. But if you don't see it, you need to understand this. So realize that the truth is your phone has become your mentor. It's become your teacher, and the very voice you hear more than anyone else's. That little box with pixels all over it does not care about you. I need you to understand that. It doesn't want you disciplined. It doesn't want to set you free or give you financial freedom. All it wants you is weak and docile, and it wants you addicted, because that is profitable. You think these companies care about you or care about you as an individual? No, to them you are simply a statistic, and you are a statistic of the percent of time that you spend on their application. And that is the very reason why silence feels so unbearable now as a concept. I want you to try it once this video is up. Put your phone down and sit alone in a room, empty, with nothing but your thoughts. Within minutes, maybe even within less than a minute for some of you, you're going to reach for your phone. And it's not because you're bored. That might be part of it, but inherently it's instead because you're terrified of facing yourself as a person. And that is what constant scrolling has done to you as a whole. That's the very effect that this social media has had upon you. It has trained you as a person to run from your own reflection instead of facing it and figuring out what is wrong. The reason why, these older men or the older generations feel so much sharper and tougher is because they grew up without these phones. They grew up bored, and they grew up finding their own meaning. They grew up with silence and being used to that emptiness and having to figure out what you're currently thinking at that moment instead of distracting yourself. And what they did was they learned to sit with it, and they learned to wrestle with it, and they learned to win over those thoughts. They learned to think their way through the thoughts instead of simply delegating it and avoiding it. You, or at least you as a generation, outsource boredom to a machine, to a little fucking 6 inches with flashing lights and colors. And then you wonder why is it you can't focus, wonder why you can't sit down and write an essay for once, or read 5 pages of a book without trying to figure something else out. Why your ambition dies in simply minutes, and it dies before you ever actually apply it, or why your dreams fall apart before they even start to take shape. The philosopher Seneca said that it is not that we have a short time to live, but instead that we waste much of it. He warned us against trivial distractions fucking ages ago, 2,000 years before phones were even a thing. And if gossip in the marketplace was dangerous then what do you think the endless feeding of nonsense to your mind does to you now? What do you think that this phone is doing to you now, if 2,000 years ago, when they didn't have anything close to this technology, it was already one of the biggest topics on one of the greatest thinkers' minds? That should scare you in the moment. Now, what happens with this phone is that it makes you soft. You as a person have now become soft. And it's not because life has gotten harder, which it may have. I don't know your circumstance. But generally speaking, it is not because life has got harder. Instead, it's simply because you hand your attention away to a machine every single time that it asks. Every single time that a tiny tinge of boredom comes over your mind, you hand away your thoughts to that little phone instead of thinking about why you're thinking these things, why these emotions come up. You have stopped being a person with direction and instead simply become a puppet which is tugged by notifications and likes and little pop-ups on your screen. So the harsh truth that I need to put on you right now is that your phone is raising you into weakness. It turning you into someone who's dependent, someone who doesn't know who they are without the constant hum of distractions, delegating away the thoughts that they are so terrified to confront and face. And the only way out of this sad and unsettling truth is that you have to take back control of your silence. You have to guard your mornings. Instead of waking up and going straight on your phone and letting your first thought belong to a screen, you have to guard your night, and you have to guard the very most important moments of your life. Waking up and going straight onto your phone is one of the worst things that you can do, and I don't think I even need to explain why. Every single time you wake up in that bed and you're guilty scrolling, you understand that it's an issue. And if you don't understand that, please listen to this message. You have to protect your mornings and your nights. You have to not hand over that little last bit of consciousness you have to some stranger on the internet who's trying to control your thoughts. And when that very itch comes to fill the silence without your phone, you have to sit in it and you have to realize it. You have to be conscious in that moment. And that is the very place you will meet yourself again for the first time in ages. Because right now, you are not the very person living in your own life. Instead, it is an algorithm living through you. And until you break that curse, that spell that has been placed on your mind from these companies, these evil companies, I can't emphasize how evil they are, you will never know the very person that you could have been, and you will simply become wasted potential.